I'm also going to change the mix because I'm going to fall asleep if I have to listen to some more Celeste. Even though I love it, but it's, you know, there's no good music, man. Where's the good music? What am I? Screw it. Yes. All right. Live on YouTube. Live on Twitch. Live. Alive. Slightly sick. You talked about poop, so technically you did something, right? Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, I guess. You know what we're going to end up having to do, I think? I think these physics handles are not going to cut it for what we want to do. Because if we start combining one physics handle with another person's physics handle, I don't know how we're going to do that. That's going to be a challenge, I think. Figuring out how to get two physics handling the same object. Anyways, I'm not too worried about that yet, right now. Although technically the large object needs to be handled from a different spot. So let's just go ahead and fix that. Let's go ahead and fix that. Constrains the rotation. If we don't input any rotation, does it constrain the rotation still? Yes. Shit. It's a random question, but when playing an RPG, do you like the option to just pay someone to fix their problem rather than having to do the quest to fix their problem? You could do that. Are there games or RPGs where they literally allow you to pay to fix a problem? Why do I feel like I'm shorter now? Am I crazy? Does my character model feel shorter? Oh yeah, dude, what? Why is he shorter? That's so weird. I don't know. Whatever, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I noticed where the issue went. There we go. Shit my pants, I did. Exito, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. How you doing, brother? You just grab the center of gravity, the point of where you grab. If you want things to rotate around the point where you grab. No, it's just a case of we have to do two different pathways. If we want to grab something with rotation, or if we want something to be grabbed without rotation. So, this is getting a little chaotic, but let's just put a boolean here. And we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this. Yep. Ideally, I'd have a proper system doing this, because this is fucking ridiculous. But, oh well. Sometimes you gotta have a little bit of puke code. Sometimes that's just how it be, man. Sometimes that's just how it be. Sometimes the code just is not the prettiest thing in the world. It's just, you know, that's just how it is. Okay, so we need to place this here as well. It needs to happen locally and on the server. Although, kind of, not really. But let's just do it here. So here we're going to check if it's interactable. If it is interactable, go ahead and use the rotation. Otherwise, do not use the rotation. Okay. This will probably bite me in the ass in the future. Like, I'm sure I'm going to be like, well, I want something to be interactable, but just not whatever. That's okay. We'll figure it out. This would just be the grab location, and the component is going to be fed in there, and then use rotation would be like that. Now we should be able to grab this, no problem normally, but then when we grab this, it's going to grab it from the pivot point. There we go. So that's the difference. This grabs it from the pivot, and we rotate with it. This just grabs it directly from where you're grabbing. So you can imagine if you're grabbing like something long, it's going to grab it from the point that's long, right? So you'd probably want another friend to grab the other side or something, right? If that makes sense. And that's the idea there. So it's two different ways of grabbing things. Now, that being said, you'd probably want to be able to grab something with two hands. But in this world, I guess we only grab with one hand. So, yeah, because like this ball, I feel like you'd be able to grab, you know, you grab some with two hands, you'd be keeping it in. Anyways, it's a video game, whatever, man. Yeah. Cool. All right, well, that's done. There's an easy way to solve this. Cut off one of the character's arms. Hey, you got a point. It'd be funny if you could hold left click and right click. And like, it does like a double grab. And then that makes it more constrained. But then we'd have to do more code. And honestly, whatever. Who cares? That would feel great on controller though, because you'd be like grabbing both triggers. I'm assuming. That could be kind of intuitive, but we'll put that on the back. We'll put that on the backlog. We'll put that on the backlog. Yeah. Will the game have both first person and third person cameras? Probably just going to get first person out of the way first. That being said, because it's multiplayer and we have to do the external animations anyways, we could in theory add third person at a future date if we want to. But that being said, I feel like that kind of just breaks the horror element a little bit. Or maybe it won't break the horror element, but I feel like it could. Okay, we can still add these things to the inventory. We can still throw it, no problem. This is going to be multiplayer like RV there yet or something? Brother, why do you think there's two other additional windows on the right side of my screen? Why do you think there's two additional windows right here with two motherfuckers right here, standing right here, huh? This is your hat now. Thought you just like different windows? That's true. Yep, Scotty. Whoopsies. Uh-oh. Whatever. This is a feature. Fast burn. Whatever. Wait, this is an actual physics object? I didn't know that. The little thing is a physics object. Oh. Interesting. All right, what's next on the block? I guess mass would be, figuring out how to do mass would be one of the next steps. Could we simulate mass by increasing the interpolation speed? If we set the interpolation speed to 1, will it make something feel heavier? Not really. Just makes it slower. Which isn't like extremely helpful for us. Set that back to 4. I think it was 3 originally. I'm going to set it to 4 though. Yeah, that's the annoying thing with the physics handle is it doesn't take into account mass. Or I don't think it does. UE5 physics handle mass. Yeah. Try lowering the linear stiffness and angular stiffness. Let's see what kind of difference that makes. I don't know what these do, if any. Like, I don't actually know what the linear or angular stiffness actually does, because I feel like I have not seen any... Setting the stiffness based on the grabbed object's mass would probably work to fake it. So let's try this out. If I set the interpolation speed to 1, angular stiffness and linear stiffness to 1. I guess you can still lift it though. So it's almost like the target location needs to take into account the mass as well. Oh, it's actually lowering itself. Interesting. Wait, hold on, wait. Let me take a screenshot of this original parameters. It's time to open paint. Ah, my eyes. Hold on. Let me do the pirate software thing. All right, we're good. So possibly, yeah, we could change the stiffness. So let's try 0.6 for the interpolation speed with a stiffness of 0.8. Angular stiffness is 0.3. Interesting. What if I lower the dampening? I don't know what the damping is doing. Really? No balls? Really? No balls again? Ah. Interesting. So by lowering the dampening, I actually made it so you literally can't drag it, or yeah, by lowering the dampening, you literally can't drag it up, which almost seems counterintuitive. Maybe this isn't like dampening. I don't know what damping, linear damping. Maybe it's not dampening, damping translation. Or no, not a damping definition. The amplitude or oscillation of vibrating system. So I guess that would lower the strength. Okay. I think we actually could use this. I think we actually can. We can probably work with something there then. Then it's just a case of getting all of these values to maybe we could slow down the player too. Yes, yeah, that would be great. That's a great idea. Yeah, we can almost simulate mass. Okay, so we got some options there then. Then I guess the problem is how do we make the physics? I still have not tested out. I think I have to test out with a few friends one of these days. Test out if multiple people can grab one thing. I don't think they can. So I will be curious to see how we can potentially fix that so we can have multiple people being able to grab on stuff. Yeah. So that'll be something to look into. You're Sunny. Okay. Can you temporarily make the grabbing toggle itself so you can test multiple people? I think I did try that and it wasn't working, so there's a large likelihood it just doesn't work on a server as well. Because I'm pretty sure what I did is I put this in event tick. Well, fuck me, I guess. Okay, hold on. Where am I? I gotta start commenting. It's actually getting bad. Don't look. This is just for testing. Don't look. Don't look. Don't, everybody stop looking. Everybody stop looking at the stream. Everybody just stop looking at the stream. Everybody close your eyes. We're getting real sloppy here. Okay. Yeah, I just stole it from his hands. Now, I wonder if that's because of the set owner system. I wonder if that's because of the set owner system. Let's try cutting both of those lines real quick. Does it steal the object because we've swapped out the owner? Wait. Oh, it works. Oh, it works. Wait, it works. It's because of the owner system. Okay, so if there's already somebody grabbing it, we just need to make it so it can't reset the owner, and it keeps the owner to the original person that grabbed it. So this is our culprit of this issue. I feel like you can have the player model arm extend so it looks like they're grabbing it. I'll probably do some animation stuff in the future, for sure. One thing I was thinking was just having the hands kind of Jedi-esque or whatever, just fucking have the hands stick out or something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, all right, so it is working. It's just because we're swapping the ownerships. So we almost need to check, is the thing already being grabbed? And if so, okay, keep this the way it is for now. I know. Did I import all the GMC stuff? I believe I did. I don't know how I feel about GMC yet. I'm sure it'll just take some more tweaking. Not 100% happy with it, but we have sprinting in the game and it works perfectly on multiplayer from the looks of it, so I guess it's just going to take a lot of tweaking. But there's a little bit of like rubber banding and stuff which doesn't feel very good, but I think through play testing we'll be able to determine if it's actually going to be problematic or not. So what we need to do is check if something is already being grabbed. And if something is already being grabbed, we need to maybe we could use an actor tag. Are actor tags replicated? I don't think so. I don't know. All right, let's make an integer, and this integer will be replicated. And we'll call this grabbers. Handlers. 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 Amount of players currently handling this object. Hell yeah. So the thing that kind of sucks is the furnace door would in theory have a handler system, I'm pretty sure. But it is not derived from the item. So I think what we're going to do is in our interaction interface, we're going to add a interface call, which is in C++. I keep forgetting. Okay. Is it int or is it int 8? I think it's int 8. Get handler count. Int 8 is not supported by Blueprint. Which one is it? Is it int 16? Is it just int? Maybe it's just int. Hot reloading the header files? Nah. Just reload. Just reload the entire engine, basically. It sucks, but I guess this is just the reality of C++. Yeah. The grab game. It really is a game about grabbing shit. If you think about it, most friendslop games are about grabbing shit, kind of. There's always items associated, so why not make the items fun? And like, it's such a core thing, we might as well make it like a good time, you know what I mean? Okay, handler count. We'll just make this... I don't really give a shit too much about the furnace doors, so I think if I just set it to 0, it'll be fine. For now. If I set it to 1, in theory, that means that by default, it's like the server is the only one that can handle this. But then clients are going to get a little bit of a laggier version of the door. So, but it's fine for now. We'll just leave that there. Okay, so interface, get handler count. Handler count is going to derive from handlers, which is replicated. So whenever we do a getter, I would assume this would get the right number, right? Also, another problem. We need another interface call. Fucking shit. Ah, come on. Ah, cock. We need an interface call to add to handlers. Sure, fine. All right, fine. Add handler. Would this be void? I guess it would make more sense actually to use an array for this, an array of pawns rather than an integer count. Because the chances of that fucking up is extremely high. The chances of that potentially fucking up very, very high. So I'm thinking maybe we use a pawn reference. Yeah. Like a pawn array. That might be a better idea. That might be a better idea. I'm seeing all of the potential things that could go wrong doing this. How do you do a pointer array? Does that become an array? I forget how to turn something into an array. In C++. UE5 C++ pawn array. Ah, I was close, but not close enough. T array, a pawn, pointer, get handler count. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. T array of pawn, and then add a handler, pawn. I guess this also means we're going to need a function call to remove a handler. Great. Or we can use the same function call to do two different things, and then we just have two inputs. Add or remove. Add, remove handler. Apply, rename, refactoring. No. Add, remove handler. What would be a better way of wording this? If something is either adding or removing and you can choose modify handler? I don't know if I like the idea. Oh yeah, by the way, this wouldn't be get handler count anymore. This would be get handlers rather than get handler count. So this would be get handlers. Add remove handler. I guess we'll just call it that for now. I don't really like the wording, but screw it. Screw it. Fuck it. We ballin'. All right, rerun. Again, rerun again. Hold on. All right, let's see if I did that correctly. All right, show me the. I'm in the wrong place. Show me the interface. Oh, I can't see the interface. Right, makes sense. Okay, so get handlers gets an array of pawn object references. Okay, add remove handler. Hmm. Can you make a Can you make an interface call pure? I don't know if you can. Yes. Sonny, you don't even do C++. How would you know? Just name it pure. All right, thanks. I don't think so. I don't remember if I've ever done it. So yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's something that could be done. Okay, so handlers instead of an integer is actually going to be the pawn object reference array amount of players currently handling this object. Instead, this will be players currently handling this object. What's very cool is based on how we do this, we could also make it so enemy pawns could be handlers or monsters could be handlers. What was the question? I'm wondering if interface functions can be pure, but I don't think they can. I don't think I've ever made an interface call pure before. Nor I don't think I ever seen one. Or have I? No, I don't think I have. I'm trying to think. Okay. All right. So we're getting into a world of hurt. Part of me is thinking we should make a blueprint for this, like a separate, like the item pickup should derive from a separate actor and the furnace door should derive from that separate actor as well. So then that way I can just simplify all of this and reuse the same code. An actor component? No, I think it would just, I don't know if I'd make it an actor component. I think it would just be all of these would derive from something rather than just deriving from actor type. It would be like BP underscore handleable object. And then anything that is handleable would derive from that. Because I'm starting to think like, if we're going to have objects that have mass and all of these things associated, there's going to be a lot of things at play, and I don't want the pawn to handle all of that. I think some of the data could be handled on the object itself when you're grabbing it. Well, one thing's for certain. Let's just at least get it working on the items, and then we can figure it out from there. So add/remove handler. We're going to first get handlers, or no, handlers, and then add unique. Instigator is going to be this. Perfect. Then we want to get the length of this, if this is the first thing in the array, I just forgot something that I needed to do. I hope I saved. Stop! I love C++. Pukes. Vomits. Okay, so adding. Okay. All right. It didn't save it, but that's fine. So, if it's adding, we're going to add it. If it's false, we're going to remove it. We're going to go ahead and remove item. That way we just reuse the one function. Don't know if that's, you know, a good thing to do, but we're going to do that. Why? Because I can. Motherfucker. Because I can. Because I can do that. Cursed function? It's not cursed. It's not cursed. This is a perfectly good function. I don't know what you mean. Don't yell at me. All right. We're going to check the length of this. If it is equal to 1, we will go on ahead and set the owner. Now, this interaction interface call would only run on the server. So let's check that it is equal to 1. And we also want to check that we are the server calling this. Otherwise, yeah. Well, either way, it's a replicated variable. So either way, it wouldn't be able to do anything. Ha! I just realized we're now replicating an array of pointers, which makes things a bit more expensive, but luckily it should be a relatively small number. It shouldn't get too crazy. I think. So we'll set the owner of the actor to our first. I'm getting a copy. I don't really like that. So we're just going to read from the instigator, which I think is just a direct reference. This code is fucked. This is awful. It could be worse, but it's pretty bad. It ain't great, but yeah, whatever. Screw it, we ballin'. All right, so now we remove and then we're setting the owner. Let's check that this is actually working. Get handlers is just gonna return our handlers. Crimson in 4 years working with a function, or maybe in 4 days? Brother, you mean like tomorrow? Tomorrow's me is going to be pissed off at current me. That's how it goes. That's how it goes, man. So server grab component at location, we're going to want to add a handler. Add remove handler. That is a pretty shit. I gotta say, that is a pretty fucking garbage interface name. Not a whatever. Whatever. Fuck off. You've got to be kidding me. The instigator is actor object reference. Why is the instigator not just pawn? Oh, fuck you. Become pawn. You are now pawn. I'm not casting. I'm not doing a cast. That's not happening. Psycho. Path. Independent. Yeah, of course. That's my paint. Where I can draw things. Oh. Yes, dude. Yes. Hold on. Yes, Z is up. Yeah, I had to put that in there. Z is up because that is the correct thing. It's X, Y, Z. Z is up. Anybody who tells me otherwise, look at the paint. It's on the paint. It's right there. It says it right there. Forward, right, up. Don't say that. Shut up. Do not bring that up. Do not bring the fact that they want to switch everything up to FRU. FRU switching game engine? Fuck! Are you switching game engine because of our stupid mistakes? Sorry, I'm just being just a little. All right, add, remove handler, target. This is really confusing. Anyways, release grab component. So from here, we want to release the component. Okay. Target is going to be target, which by the way should be called actor, but okay. And let's actually do that. And then instigator is going to be, well, instigator, which should be this. All right, so our ownership system should work again. Yep, it looked like it did. Can this guy grab it and will he take ownership of it? No. One thing that's concerning is he's not even grabbing that at all. Wait, he's like not grabbing that at all. He doesn't even get to grab that. Wait. It was working before. What happened? Uh-oh. Or was it working before? Am I crazy? Maybe it wasn't working before. No, I'm pretty sure it was. Pretty sure it was working before. Saw it jitter when the second he grabbed it. Yeah, that's when the server call works. Okay, our hand is no longer appearing on the object. What have I done? What did I break? What the fuck happened? Wait, what the hell happened? Hold on. Okay, now it's working again. Uh-oh. Hmm. It would appear multiple people can't grab onto things anymore. Was it this change that we did that caused that, or is it this interface change that we just made? I literally just had a deja vu, and I feel like I've seen this vision fucking years ago. I feel like I literally have seen this vision years ago. If a other pawn that is not the server is handling an object, multiple people cannot handle the object together. The problem with that, though, is it looks like shit. Also, I don't know what happened. My hand is not showing my hand anymore. Okay, we're getting a lot of weird problems. Client 1 is fucked. Why is client 1 fucked? I don't know. We do have a getter for a player controller here. Is that potentially not being set? I'm pretty sure I put a delay. Uh-oh. Is it possible for this to fail? Is that possible for that to fail? There's no way that's... I guess it is possible for it to fail, because I swear you would need a player controller before you can even have a player character. What up, Delta? Is the multiplayer game the new project, or trying a few things out till you find something you like? This is basically the new project. I don't know why. But it would appear things are breaking a little bit. Does it work fine on client 2? Is this a client 1 problem? No way. Hold on. What the hell's going on? It's like not creating a player controller for the, and then everything is being placed inside of his head. What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? Wait, what the hell's going on? Server grab component location, get player controller. So it's doing that part. It's just for some reason the grab location is no longer working. Like, what? Everything just suddenly broke. Access none, trying to read property. HUD. Which means it's not getting... um... Why is it going up to his face? Like, that literally wasn't happening before. Okay, if I try hooking up the owner system, will that somehow magically just work? Hold on, Candy. I'll get to those push-ups. It magically just works. But then the problem is if we have an owner, someone else trying to grab it, it won't work because it needs to be owned by the server. Ah! What's really funny is that this was working it was working fine before. Is it the grab component at location that's causing an issue? And why is it that it only occurs on client 1 and not on client 2? Okay, it breaks on both. But let me check client 2 really quickly. How's the GMC implementation going? I think it's going well. It's just now we're having other issues or other things to deal with. Why is that happening, dude? So because it doesn't have the owner, it randomly sets the location. Is last interacted hit result being overwritten by something? Maybe that's breaking. Let's try removing that from event tick real quick and fixing this so it actually works properly. Let's just bring this back all together and see if it's still somehow magically broken on client 1. And now it's fine. Is it because I rehooked handler? No, the handler is unhooked. So something in here was making it so the target location wasn't being set. Very weird. Very, very odd. If you claim the replicated grab system a few months back in the free asset rotation, perhaps that'd be a good reference to what you're trying to fix. Replicated grab system. No, I'm just using physics handles and smooth sync and shit. Didn't even know that asset existed. Here, Link. How's it going? You know, all right. Add/remove handler. So the problem now is when two people are trying to grab onto the same object, if the owner is another client, then it cannot be grabbed by the other player. So, yeah. And now that I unhooked everything, I can't really like fully test it. Like I can, but I just have to hook it back in an event tick. And for some reason in the event tick, it's fucking broken. For some reason, it just suddenly started breaking. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's also keep it in... No, let's just do it in one spot. And then take off the release grab. Okay. This is stupid. Worth checking if you claimed it. Replicated grab system. How is it? I have a feeling it's probably using physics handle as well, to be honest. Actually, I have no clue if this is physics handle, actually. I think it's doing its own thing. Maybe. I'll add it to my my wish list. Oh, never mind. I have to log in. Wait, hold on. Maybe I am logged in. Okay, thank you. Wow. Okay. Let's see if client 1 can pick up an object again, or if it's the same bug back to where it was before. It somehow works again. Is it because we rehooked the... it's because we rehooked the handler. Okay, so I bet you once we unhook that, client 1 will break, but the client 2 will be fine for some reason. So client 1 will grab this. It'll teleport to them. They're actor 0 for some reason. But then if client 2 picks it up, then it'll just stay in the location. That being said, it is freaking out a lot. So maybe it's trying to send it to the location. Who knows? So what I'd like to do though, we'll keep the add and remove handler system. But what we're going to do in the item pickup, if the length is 1 and is server, well, what if the length is equal to 2? So that'll go through false. So what I'd like to do, if the length is more than 1, and that's true, which obviously it would be. It's a bit stupid how I'm doing this. I want to set the owner to the player pawn. I believe if I do this, this should get, that should get the server as the owner. Because we are running this on server. So if I grab this, we have ownership, but then if client 2 picks it up, the ownership becomes the server, and now multiple people can grab onto it. It is, however, a little janky. I will admit, does become a little janky. I do see a time smoothing. How much of this is changeable in runtime? I'm gonna try something. So position lerp speed will slow it down if we have to deal with the server. Otherwise, on owner, we'll set the position lerp speed 0.93. And then if this is false, then that means the length is not more than 1. It equals to 0. So we'll just set that back to the default. Yeah. Am I focusing on the train game now? I think so. I think so. I think that'll be the focus for sure. Of course, the problem now is someone can just drag the entire object too far away. What we'll do is we'll do a limit. So it's like as you get too far away from an object that you're trying to grab, you'll like slip. So maybe I'll make it so like the object that you're picking up, maybe the cursor starts like shaking or vibrating, and then if it's too long, then you release your grip or something. But we're technically all picking it up. Oh, it's working. Like at White Knuckles? Yeah, I guess like White Knuckles. I by the way, I searched that up again because someone mentioned it and I remember what it is. That is a pretty sick game. Pretty sure I saw someone play it as well. I think that'll be our way of like limiting how far you can grab things and whatnot. So all of this should work again. Grab, let go, grab from the pivot, let go. This guy, grab. I believe he has ownership. He does not have ownership. Wait. Does he have ownership if I just... Okay, the first person grabbing it. Okay. Oh. Whoopsies. I forgot. We just forgot to remove the handler. Oops. We're oopsies. So now if he picks it up, there we go. So that changed ownership. Then I go pick this up again. All right. And then client 2, let's go pick it up. All right. Little oopsie there. Yep, Shaq. It's been a while. How are you doing? All right. Got some really potato code, but it's real messy, but I guess we could just say, fuck it. Hey, if it works, it works. Okay. Cool. So that means now multiple people can grab onto an object. Of course, we don't have mass yet for the items, but that's okay. That's okay. Ay, ay, ay. There's a lot of ugly stuff going on over here. It's funny because we are also saving a reference to the hit result, so we could, in theory, just clean all this up. Okay. All right. Okay. Fun times. Trying to beat into my head enum structs, arrays, and maps. I just, I wouldn't say I'm that advanced. I'm just a noob. I'm still a noob. Even after releasing a game, I still feel like a noob. I want to add a different sound effect for the cube falling on the ground, and I was trying to look for the sound effect that I had for Suit for Hire, but I think that was some internal sound library. So I can't find it. So I have no idea where it is. So, but I do want to grab a sound effect, because we have a sound effect when you drop the item. I just want to have a different thing here. So let me find some kind of Foley sound. We got farts in here. Designed real. Never mind. Hold on. Hold on. Maybe no. Yeah. Yeah, Foley, I tried to find some Foley sounds, and I did not like any of these, man. Let me see if I can just find some random impact sound in here. Some random, like, paper. Wood impact. Okay, hold on. I actually Open up Audacity. Actually, no, not Audacity. Open up Explorer. And I ain't talking Internet Explorer. I'm making Kingdom Come Deliverance in one apartment. What kind of things would you have to make for Kingdom Come Deliverance? Excuse me? Hello? What kind of stuff would you have to do for that? Let me add a little fade out to this. What does the ending sound like? Sure. Export audio. Let's just call this prop underscore wood plank. Wood underscore prop underscore wood underscore impact or dash impact underscore 01. Prop underscore wood dash impact. Sure. We'll move this here. Export this one. It's in stereo. I want it in mono. Never mind. Go back to the first one. Roommate mood work schedule. Did Kingdom Come Deliverance have a work schedule system? I just remember the weird combat and like some of the dialogue stuff. Dude, I could go for a coffee, man. That one coffee from that coffee shop that has like tea inside of the coffee. God damn, that shit's so good, man. Oh my god. The falling metal pipe one? Dude, let me show you guys that sound effect. Where was it? It's such a good sound. I have a shit ton of metal sounds. Like a shit ton. Impact, I think. I think it was in here. Hold on. Where is it? Dude, there's some really good... Oh, God, man. Oh, dude, listen to this. Listen to this sound, man. Listen, hold on. Listen to this sound effect. Can you just imagine hitting one of your friends in the head with like a random object that sounds like this? I don't know where the other sound was. There's like a sound. I don't know where it is. Ooh, getting crazy with it. Ooh. Dude, I think sound effects are such a good tool of comedy and just games in general. My god, dude. There's a cymbal in here, like a big cymbal sound. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Anyways, so now that we have our impact sounds, now I can fuck around with like object sound effects. Let's go here, sound. Import those sounds. Prop wood impact. One thing I am concerned about is, do you guys see like the gain difference of this last one here? Not too happy with the gain difference of this. Like how, yeah. I might want to level that one out, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and, I guess, duplicate this. We'll call this Q underscore wood underscore impact, I guess. Wood dash impact. Obviously, we're going to have different kind of wood impacts, but I think we'll have like a bunch of stuff that is like general stuff, like wood, metal, etc. Yeah. My game is out. One of my games, my first game. Now I'm working on the next thing. The next piece of the puzzle. The next piece of the pie. So we will associate the drop sound with that now, just so we can test it out. Wood impact. So how does it sound? We're going to need different levels of intensities. I also think we're going to need some sliding sound effects. Like, kind of like Half-Life-esque. I don't know how to even simulate that or read from that value. I think it would be a case of... I don't even know how we would simulate sliding or friction. Like, hits are easy because we could just generate hits. And then we can easily change, we can figure out the intensity based off of like the normal impulse. But in terms of if an item is sliding, I don't know. I wonder if we would still get a bunch of constant hits. I don't like using this because we have so many items in here. It's just going to constantly say hello. I think it just constantly reads. I think it just does constant hits. Does Smooth Sync have a way of reading a hit? Or is Smooth Sync constantly hitting, causing this to constantly hit? We might be able to do from on component hit. Loop it until it goes beyond a certain threshold away from floor. I guess we could do it based off of floor. We'll definitely need a threshold for the velocity for sure. And I think it would be just a looping sound, like a looping sound effect that I had in my folder. I literally had it. I don't know where I don't remember which folder it is now. It was wood. No, movement. No, wood. Fuck. It was this package, wood. There is a friction. It wasn't that one. It was, I think, one of these. These are technically wood drops. Oh, these are technically, the sound, it's so interesting. These are wood chips dropped. But we might be able to use it as a dragging friction sound. I think we can loop it. Yeah, I think we can use that one. I think we can use that one. My chest. Okay, so we have the sound effect right here. I like the first one. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this section and then I want to loop it. Set it to mono. Can I potentially also normalize it? We can't hear the sounds. I know. I don't want to play it on stream because this shit's loud. But we could. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. I'll just lower your guys' end. I have different dragging sounds too, so let's see what we can find. Wood movement. I guess it really depends on what kind of wood it is, man. Because we can make some really generic kind of sliding sounds, no problem. I think I have... Where's the footstep sounds? We have some footstep sounds that I can use. Where is it? I have a sound. One of these has footsteps. Footsteps, human. You know AI is a thing now? Not for me. Yeah, we could do that. Or the concrete one. Could also do this one. For sounds? No, I got a ton of sounds. I got a ton of sounds. I got all the good stuff. Yeah, it's no problem. What was that? Metal slide. No, metal slide. All right. We could somehow find a way of looping one of these. Where did I get these from? These are from Boom Library. I don't know if you guys hear that. Do you guys hear that little weird up pitched? I swear there's a way of doing a cross transition. That would be really handy. Is like some sort of transition. But honestly, that sounds fine. Unless we want to go maybe over here. Because it's going to be looping anyways. You can give it to me, I'll do it. Takes sound effect. Yeah, I got this sound effect. Prop wood. Okay, so we'll call this prop wood friction. Prop wood friction or prop wood slide. And then we'll just use that for now. And then we can start figuring out a way to... So I think we'd want the sliding sound effect to be on the object itself. And then whenever it context switches to a different type of object, maybe we give it a different integer and then it can crossfade between the different object types. For example, when you slide something on metal, it's going to sound different when you slide something in dirt. Now that being said, we don't have any dirt. So I think the only time it will switch is like cloth to metal to wood. I don't know if there's any difference for wood. Do we have a sliding sound for wood? I'm sure we do. The nice thing is, I think this is generic enough. Like, it's technically footsteps, but I think it's generic enough that we might be able to use this for like all of the different objects. And then if anything, if it's like metal, maybe we add a little bit of like tang to it or something. But yeah, I think it should be good enough. Anyways, I just want to try this out because it seems like a fun little thing to do in here, especially considering that all of our things are item based, and plus because it seems fun. Anyways, any additional questions? It seems fun to do. Okay, it just seems fun to do. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what to say. It just seems like a fun thing to do. Okay, so we're gonna create another Q wood. I think, what did we use the term? Slide. Looping output. So I did this in Suit for Hire, technically, with the doors. So depending on the angular speed, we would pitch up or down, and then it would also lower the volume as time went on, obviously. So we're going to want to do something similar for this as well. I want to go into a different level, and I also want this to be just a singular player situation, because this is a very local kind of simulation. I need a empty level. Okay, server actor spawner. I'm going to delete all of them except for one. Okay. Now the only thing that will generate that print string is the one object. So now I can actually do some testing with it. Okay, so let's print string what the vector length is when it's sliding across the floor. What does it give us? So just it rolling on the ground is 40. Interesting. Here's something that sucks, by the way. Any object that rolls should not play the sliding sound, because something that rolls is different from it having friction against something. How do we determine if it's rolling or friction, though? I guess we'd have to see if it has a handler. If it has a handler, then go ahead and play the friction sound. Rotation, true. We could get the angular. How do we get the angular speed? Current angular velocity. Okay, so we can get the angular velocity in degrees. We could do the same thing, get a vector length. Let's see, what does that give us? Currently 0, makes sense. But then when we're dragging it across the ground, it needs to be like, what, under 100? I want to see what the cube looks like. Oh shit, it gets the angular velocity of the z-axis as well. That isn't helpful for us, because when we're doing this, you're technically rubbing it on the ground, but the z velocity is going up because we're rotating around the player character. Isolate it out. How can we isolate it correctly, though? Or maybe we get the hit object that it's hitting against. Let's do this. We'll keep this here. No problem. But let me see the actual normal impulse. It's on the Z. Okay. This might be a pretty interesting problem to figure out. Because here it's technically rolling, which is kind of funny. Okay, let's just get the sliding to work, and then we can figure out the intricacies of it as well. So, if false, it's not more than 1500, but it's more than, I don't know, vector length maybe 100. Or no, maybe not more than 100. Maybe we do a clamp. In range 0, or let's do 100 to 700. So this would, in theory, actually be happening constantly. let's add a cue or a sound to this. Audio. What is it? Audio, yeah. This would be the wood sliding sound. And we're going to say the default is I guess it would be default to on, which kind of sucks. But we'll just do volume 0 for now. Okay, hold on. Proper way to do this would be to check the direction of rotation, the velocity, and then the size of the object, and then cancel it out to see if it's sliding or rolling, but fuck that. Well, if we want this stuff to sound good, especially considering that it's like one of the big things we'll be interacting with, we probably will have to do something relatively fancy, but let's just do something stupid first. Hey, let's do something stupid first. Let's start with stupid. And then we can work our way up. 0 to, I guess, 1. Now, ideally, whenever we don't have any more hits, we need to somehow check that we're no longer hitting anything. And then we need to zero this out. So if it's like no longer in the air, are we gonna have to do a constant line trace on the floor to the floor, or to like to the last thing it hit? Oh shit. I think we might have to do that. And then maybe instead of this being inside of the hit, instead we put it inside of they're not an on-ground variable. The thing is, we can't use on-ground because what if you're rubbing something against a wall? One thing that's really annoying is the normal impulse is not enough to actually see if it's moving around. So we almost need to read from the velocity of the object as well. I'm curious, is the velocity of the object going to reflect the actual like movement of it? Let's see. Or is it going to bug out and consider it as if it's like moving around as well? Okay. That's actually really good for us. So let's use vector length for that again. Let me see what the number of that is as well. It's actually good because we can use that for the sliding. Ah! Just add a collision box, set the collision to overlap all terrain. When it overlaps plus velocity is more than 0, make a sound. It's that easy. The GMC implementation went right? Yeah, it's all right. Like it's all right. It gets the job done, for sure. Sounds like it's scraping against a carpet or some kind of fabric. I'm okay with it not being 100% perfect right now. It's just more so to give objects a bit of context, just to make them feel a little bit more like alive in the space. But we'll definitely have to make it so it's like different surfaces do different things. That's where things get really uncomplicated. Okay, it's there. It's quiet. It's quiet, but it's there. I think the default for this is not 1 multiplier though. I want a cube though. Give me a cube. There we go. It's very possible that the velocity doesn't actually go that high. So let's do like 50 to 300. It's already feeling really good. Except it is... We will have to check. You know, when it's hitting objects. So it's almost like we need the normal impulse to actually be underneath a number, not over 1500. So we could do that, put that at false instead. The problem is we need to zero this out when it does hit anything, which I guess we could do here. If you make sound effects networked, it should be local. It's all local anyways. I don't know if we need another collision box. I really don't think so. I think we can do a lot of this through the object already. Now let's see what this is looking like with our clients. Are the clients able to see it? They should be able to. Oh, interesting. Huh. So because the owner is being set to the person grabbing it, I wonder if that's fucking up the component hit calls. I wonder if that's messing with it. Oh, shit. Having different scrapes sounds according to physics controls would be epic. Yeah, I agree. And we could probably do it relatively generic by like creating an integer and then having different things from there. And as long as the sound files aren't too enormous, then we should be fine. Okay, so now the issue is if the owner... I wonder if we're getting different velocity calls or different velocity values. Hmm. Yeah. Might have to calculate this stuff differently, but... I have it only play the sound on the server, so we should hear a little bit of attenuation. We're getting that sound, that source engine physics fuckery, but maybe that's part of the charm. Single collision calculation. You do have to remember that we will potentially have like 15 items in one space, so if we have to deal with more collision checks, that is probably going to be just more of a headache, so I really don't think adding a collision box would be beneficial for us. Also, I don't trust collision. Like this on hit, I don't even trust on hit generations. Generating on hits. Like honestly, what we could do is do like an event tick and go in the direction of the velocity, and then check if it gets like zeroed out at any point in time, and then that could be considered as an impact. Stop that. Stop that at once. See, this is another case where stop that. It's fucking awful. We're gonna have to figure out how to fix that up. But the sighting is not bad. It's just the impact sound is kind of just... We'll have to work more on the impacts. One thing we can do, we can actually lower the threshold. But what we can do is set the actual volume multiplier of it. So again, another map range clamped. Another clamp. Put another clamp on it. So 300, if it's more than 300, we have to start out at 300. 300 will start out as 0, and then 1,000, I guess, will be our 1,500 will be our 1. Yeah, oddly enough, other clients don't 100%. We also don't have different sound effects for different intensities, but just having a little bit of different volumes is good. I do need to check though, what is the velocity when it hits the ground at that speed? Is it that high? Because there's no way it's actually like that high. That's 2,000? That's 1,500? All right, we gotta adjust our values a little bit. More than 500. 500 to 8,000. Let's do 800 actually as the threshold. Also, This is no longer functioning properly. The sliding isn't functioning properly because it's always checking if it's less than 800. So I'm actually going to do a sequence. No. Let's do this at 1,000 because I really don't think it needs to play the sound effect unless it's like 1,000. And then 8,000 is way too fast for the object. It should never really reach 8,000 for a vector impulse unless it's like really thrown at a wall. Like that was 3,000. 4,500. I think 5,000 is like the fastest it'll probably ever go. You know, Boolean? Actually, it went to 7,000 there. It was a good throw, though. One might say I'm a football player with a skinny build. I'd probably fucking get crunched in half. Yeah, the sliding works-ish. Let me get a cube. Thanks. It'll probably need a bit more work. If you exceed 12,000 and plays an ear-piercing sound effect, it'll just break the object. I guess that's another thing to consider is, do we do breakable objects kind of like Repo? Where things break. I think I just want it so like things have health, but I don't think it would necessarily be like it reduces any of the value of it. I think it would just be like a health kind of system. It'll cause chaos of people trying to get in the way. Yeah, like I could see like really fragile glass objects having a bit of character to them. That sounds great though. You gotta admit, that's fun. We need like a louder kind of sound. Even that was only 5,300 velocity. Audio gives insane feedback. It's awesome. It is pretty sick. It's just obviously... we're gonna have to work on it. Audio carries arc raiders. I think arc raiders as a whole is really good, but I do think, yeah, the audio, they did a great job on the audio for that. Like, I feel like this should be playing the sliding sounds. Like, that seems like a perfect little spot where it would play the sliding sounds, but for some reason it's not playing it. Probably because there's no normal impulse. So we're gonna have to... we cannot rely on the normal impulse. If anything, we do not want it to rely on the normal impulse. Oh, I switched to a different game API. API? It's still Unreal, if that's what you're wondering. I'm not sure what you mean by API, though. Oh, Golden. I don't know if I said hi. Yeah, the sliding is going to need some work. But the hits sound good. Oh, he means IP. Oh, yes, this is a different game. From, I guess, a few weeks ago, yeah. Grabbing a dude? I don't even know if we can put in a system to grab your friends. I feel like we have to. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have to make it so you can grab your friend by the eyeball. Yoink that motherfucker, you know what I mean? I was trying to put in some systems to be able to, like, push your friends around and stuff like that, but I think the multiplayer prediction is going to be a fucking crazy problem to try to figure out for that. Only when they're crouching, I feel like that works better. Yeah, I could see crouching for sure, like you being able to grab onto them and like throw them around. I have no idea what that would look like from a physics standpoint. But yeah, that gets into some pretty complex territory. You would think on paper, oh, you just grab the guy, but it's like, uh-oh. All right, anyways, that's fun. How long was streaming for? 3 hours? So today we got the grabbing objects feels better. Yeah, we can drag big objects and they drag a little differently, and then small objects are grabbed from the center, which is fun. I guess one thing that could be cool is being able to zoom in and out, and then it'll drag the item closer or farther away from you. And then another thing, of course, is if you no longer have the ability to drag an item anymore, we should break that connection. It seems only right to me that we do some sort of system like that. It's still playing the sliding sound. Anyways, good stream. My body hurts. I'm gonna stretch and maybe go outside for touch some grass or something. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for dropping by. I might do some stuff off stream. What would I want to work on? Well, we do need to work on the fuel system. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for dropping by. And have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another stream. Hopefully earlier. Maybe we can get more work done tomorrow. Yeah, possibly. Possibly, yes. All right. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. Peace out.